As everyone in this room knows, AHOA is an association that has 20,000 registered members, and it's the largest association in the hospitality industry. Recent reports show that AHOA commands 60% of the hospitality industry in the US, and this 60% attributes to 1.7% of the US GDP. Many people in this room are members of AHOA, and we are looking for faster funding for hotels. We're looking for greater advocacy and fair franchising. This is why we're here today at LendingCon. Ken has been very big shoes to fill as AHOA's newest CEO, and I am looking forward to watching his legacy in our association. Here's Ken Green.
Really great to be here. Jan, thank you for inviting me. MP, the founder of AHOA, none of us from AHOA would be here today if it wasn't for that man. Loud round of applause, please. So I am Ken Green. I am the president and CEO, not the chairman. Vinay Patel is our chairman, but I am very new in my leadership role for AHOA, but not new to AHOA. My career goes back 20 years with AHOA members, and in large part the reason I'm here today is that 20 years ago, many AHOA members helped me out early in my career when I was a young brand leader, and they taught me what to do and what not to do. And this is a way for me, leading AHOA, to really give back to a community that helped me. And I will tell you, we've seen that through COVID. The resiliency of the industry, but how we are so much stronger together, working together, associations, the brands, vendors, lenders, all the influencers, government agencies, legislators, working together for the benefit of this industry. And kudos to all of us. We proved once again that we are a resilient industry. Now, we've learned a lot. We learned how to operate maybe a little bit better, differently. We've tried different ideas out that maybe we've talked about over the years from an operating perspective that we never really implemented because things were good. In bad times, you tried new things and you learn new things. So we've learned new operating ideas. We've learned how to maybe do a little bit better on our revenue management and pricing, and how to leverage different distribution channels in a better way. We've worked better with our vendors. We've done and our vendors have maybe sharpened their pencils on how to help hotel owners. We've learned how to maybe be better voices with government regulators and working to sharing our voice as an industry together. AHOA today, we're really focused on 5 things, and I'll cover those really quickly and maybe focus on the first 2. Political advocacy, very important for us at the federal, the state, and the local level. We've got a federal PAC that helps fund a lot of those efforts. We've got a team up in DC that is every day just working fighting the good fight, doing great work on things that are important for small business owners, for hotel owners. AHOA really truly is Main Street. We represent Main Street. We represent you guys in the audience that are hotel owners. So very important for us on the federal advocacy. The brand advocacy, really being a voice for our hotel owners in the relationship with brands. It doesn't always have to be controversial. It doesn't always have to be antagonistic. It can be that we can roll up our sleeves together and find solutions, and we saw that throughout COVID. Now, we hope we can see that continuing going forward, but really being the voice for franchise owners with the brands and fighting the right battles at the right time in the right way is very important to us. We also do almost 200 events a year, whether they're regional meetings with our membership, whether they're charity events, and this is really bringing the industry together, industry leaders together, brings vendors together, suppliers together, and hotel owners in a very unique way, face to face. And so a big part of what we do is just connect the industry on an everyday basis, 200 events a year. And then obviously, Education is a big piece of what we do, and we do that with our talent management, activities to try to educate new people in the industry, recruit new people in the industry, make our hotel owners, better recruiters of people, better trainers of people, better developers of people, and that is a big piece of what we do as well. And I want to talk a little bit just about some recent victories we've had, and we've just started talking about that. Let's see, am I going the wrong way? I guess I guess my presentation isn't loaded up, but it's coming? Okay. Well, I can talk about it. On the political advocacy side, we've talked a lot about the EIDL loans and the SBA, and I congratulate the SBA for rolling up their sleeves and working on behalf of this industry. It's really important for us that we have a strong voice with government, and government has really listened. SBA stepped up. You heard that EIDL is now at $2 million per property, but also one of the great victories, and in large part because. Thank you. Yeah, it's still not there. No, that's okay. I'll go without. So not only is it $2 million per property, we've got the affiliation rules waived, so an owner that has multiple properties can get up to $10 million. That was really significant. Also, the loan, I think it's a 30-year amortization, 3.75% interest rate, and you can use those funds to pay down existing commercial debt. So very important. If you haven't applied and you qualify, you think you qualify, go apply as fast as you possibly can, because it's limited dollars. It will run out at some point, and so we highly encourage you to do that. Second victory that we've done is the GSA per diem rate. And so GSA every year can reset based on a hotel performance throughout the year in terms of average daily rate. And of course, in the pandemic, what happened? Rate went down. And so we fought a very heavy battle to get the per diem rates locked in at pre-pandemic levels. Big success, really the industry working together. Things that we're working on right now. 1039 like-kind exchange, probably very important to some of you in this room. Biden administration has communicated they'd like to get rid of 1039 like-kind exchanges entirely. We do not, obviously. In fact, many of you in this room have grown your business on 1031 like-kind exchanges. Selling a smaller property, taking those proceeds, rolling them over into our larger properties, property tax deferred. We are fighting a good fight, and AHOA has taken the lead in this by far in the industry. We feel like we're winning the battle right now. We think we will be successful, but this is a big one, and one that we have our eye on quite a bit. The profitability margins of hotels. And I put this into one big bucket because this is something that we really are focused on. And actually the panelists were starting to mention it and sort of tap into this issue. Labor is going up, all right? The brands did a nice job of limiting some of the standards down, but as business comes back, listen, Amazon hiring people at $22 an hour. Makes it very difficult in our industry to maintain the profit margins that we need to have. In fact, they've been declining a bit, and so something has to give. Brand standards have to give, services have to give, or we got to figure out new ways to make having incremental revenue. We got to be more efficient operators. We got to work with our suppliers and our vendors. We got to renegotiate contracts. Whatever we can do. There's no silver bullet to this, but we need to figure out ways to increase 50 basis points on one item and 50 basis points on another item, and so we can get our profit margins back up to where we really need to get them to, because this labor issue is not going away, and so we got to be smarter. And this is an industry issue. Everybody, brands, associations, owners, vendors, lenders, everybody needs to be working together on this to figure out how we continue to increase margins. It's a big issue. Labor is going to be here to stay, these issues. And so a fight that we are personally taking on right now with AHOA is on the immigration, is loosening up immigration, work visas. It's a big issue for us, guys, and there's not anybody on either side of the aisle in DC that wants to touch this. But we got to keep fighting for it. We got to keep being a voice for it. And so you've got our commitment at AHOA. We will continue to be a loud voice. We will continue to make this a #1 priority for us. We may not be successful in the short run, but we ultimately will be successful. We just got to keep on having a loud voice, and I ask all of you guys to, again, put your voices together. We are so much stronger together as an industry when we all come together on an issue, and I think government does listen, and so very important to us. When we talk about the profitability piece to it, increasing margins, it's also important for us to educate owners and lenders on and have more transparency. So another piece that we're focused on today is really with the Federal Trade Commission. We want better transparency for owners, potential owners, on what it costs you when you're dealing with a franchisor, what it costs you on the actual, for every dollar of revenue, what do you actually pay? Now, that sits in the franchise disclosure documents. That information has been in, there's lots of information in that document. All the key pieces are in there, but it's very complex. 30 years ago, item 11 in the franchise disclosure document had maybe 5 fees. It had royalty, marketing, reservation fee, maybe a training fee, maybe a quality assurance fee. Today, there's 35, 40 different fees. Nothing wrong with that, but we should be able to understand what that really means for a dollar of revenue for a property owner, and we should be able to compare that from one brand company to the next, and that's what we're working with the Federal Trade Commission on. Actually, the head of the Federal Trade Commission just 2 weeks ago came out and said exactly that they want to have more transparency between franchisor and franchisees, so our timing is quite right on this. We're not asking anybody to do anything but just disclose what's already happening. And I think that's going to be a powerful thing as we move the industry forward. So now you're going to really challenge me because I don't have my slides up here, and I was going to talk about this groundbreaking study that we just did with Oxford Economics. And so I'm going to test how good I know this data because I've talked about it an awful lot over the last 30 days. But we engaged a third party, Oxford Economics, to come up with with really what the power and the influence of AHOA is within the hotel industry. Now, what is our influence? So for years, we've been saying at AHOA, listen, we own 1 out of 2 hotels. We have about 50% of the hotels. We have 20,000 members. Feels pretty good, sounds pretty good, but when we really get down to decision makers, they want to understand what does that mean for me as a decision maker, whether it's a brand company, whether it's a government agency, a legislator, a vendor, supplier, whatever, what does it mean? And so we engaged Oxford Economics, and the data is really startling. 60% of the hotels in the United States, that's 34,000 hotels, 3.1 million hotel rooms are owned by AHOA members. Now think about that. I'm going to take that a step further. On any given night, AHOA member properties take in 3.4 million guests a night. Now, if you want to put that in perspective, that is, if you fill up every NFL stadium and every Major League Baseball stadium in the United States on a given night, that's what that is. That is impressive. Not only that, AHOA member properties pay almost $98 billion in taxes, federal, state, and local taxes. They spend $50 billion a year with suppliers on an annual basis. They contribute almost $30 million in capital investment in a given year. They contribute $368.4 billion to the United States GDP. Now, that's powerful data. That is great data for us to have. And why is that important? Because when we do have issues that impact hotel owners and small business owners, we can come armed. We can go to the SBA. We can go to the Department of Labor. We can go to our legislators, both at the federal and the state and the local level, and say, this is what we represent for you. It gives us leverage, it gives us a voice, it gives us professional numbers that are accurate and attested to by a third party, and it is just the beginning. So next step for us at AHOA is to get this data down to the state, down to each of the congressional district levels. So today, if you went onto AHOA.com, you have access right now to all the national data that I just talked about, plus a lot more, and you get it down to the state level. It's all available publicly. We want to hand it out like candy. We think it's important. Next step is to get this data down to the congressional district level. So when you have local issues that will impact the profitability of a project, your property, potential legislation that might come out that would impact your ability to sell your property in the right way, exit your property in the right way, whatever it may be, you can go into your local legislator and say, this is who we are. This is what we contribute to your local economy, and this is why you should be listening to us. Now, at AHOA, we need to work with a lot of different partners in the industry. As I said earlier, we are so much stronger when we work together, and we've proven this over and over again. And in most cases, our interests are aligned on most issues. I think the immigration issue is one that we're fighting for Main Street on. But and maybe other associations don't want to take that battle on, but we do. But we did just form with the AHLA, the American Hospitality Alliance. And let me spend just a moment on this because this is also very powerful. The two associations, and AHLA is more Wall Street, we are more Main Street. We represent small business, but our interests are aligned in many instances on key issues, particularly when they get down to the state and local level. So we formed AHA using the influence of the two associations, the dollars of the two associations, but also with 41 state associations. Now, this docs for data that we're getting for at the congressional district level, really important as we go out to the state work with the state associations on local issues that are important to small business owners in their backyard. Now we've got two of the world's largest hotel owners association in AHOA and AHLA working together using our influence and helping to fund with our dollars to help the state associations on key issues. But most importantly, what we can do at AHOA is we can bring people to the table because we are small business owners. We are out there fighting the battle, and we have credibility with legislators. So we have data now. We have feet on the street. We have local and state influence, and then we have the backing of the national influence and advocacy. And I think that's really quite important for us as we start to move forward. So exciting days for us ahead. Lots of advocacy work for us to do. I couldn't be more excited about the future of AHOA. I'm so respectful of the legacy of the association. This hopefully will become a new chapter as we start to fight these right battles for all of us. I would encourage you to become a member. Anybody can become a member to the association. I know we're the Asian American Hotel Owners Association, but we're open to everybody. The data that we have and the information that we provide is really important. In fact, David Kong, I think at Best Western, who just announced his retirement at Best Western, has publicly been saying that throughout COVID, he relied on AHOA's data and information on a daily basis to help his Best Western franchisees. In fact, he took that information, pasted it with our blessing, and resent it to his franchisees on a daily basis. Again, just the power of AHOA and the information that we can provide. So I encourage everybody in this room. We have a long journey to go through COVID. We're seeing certain marketplaces better than they've ever been right now in destination marketplaces, but there's still a journey to go in other marketplaces. We all need to work together. We will come back. We are resilient, and we've proven that over and over again. We will come back better. We will come back stronger. Hopefully we'll come back smarter, and hopefully we'll come back more profitable, and that is our main goal at AHOA for all of you guys that are owners. And for those that are lenders, listen, we would love to work with you guys on unique packages for the entire capital stack on behalf of our owners. That is a huge priority for us. And so I thank you all for being here. I thank you all for working on behalf of the industry. And the next time, and there will be a next time that we have a bump in the road, I know as an industry we'll be much better because we are working all together and we are stronger together. And I thank you all for being here today. Thank you.